so I went up and showed them, but it was pending. And then the homeowners randomly showed up there too, and they said, yeah, it's pretty solid and stuff. So I don't think it's gonna fall through, but they weren't even pre-approved.
That's a buyer.
Yeah.
Buyer. So you go right back to those questions, right? What's your motivation? What's your time frame? Let's get you pre-approved, all that. So was that the buyer that we were just talking about a second ago?
The one in the group that Yeah. It was just random. They just called me yesterday. So I'm going to try to get them pre-approved because they weren't even pre-approved. I said, well, there's no need even looking until you guys get pre-approved. So I sent them to my lender and stuff.
All right, beautiful. Remember, a really good way to handle that is a three-way introduction.
Okay, a three-way
introduction. So you put the lender and the prospect on the line together, or either in a text or in an email, or both even, and say, hey, Joe, meet Sarah. Hey, this is, Sarah is a first-time buyer. She has some questions about the process, and we want to make sure she understands all of her loan options, right? Okay. Which is a little bit more of a friendly way of saying get pre-approved, right? Get pre-approved is kind of like, it's, how do I want to say this? It's like a raw version of like, let's get you introduced to a lender so you can review all of your loan options and make sure that you're comfortable in the price range that you're desiring, right?
Okay.
Get pre-approved is like, I need to make sure you're not a criminal or something, right? And you can use that word, but like if you have an opportunity to make it a little bit more gentle, I would do that. Okay. And
say that again, those words that you just said.
Say I want, let's say your lender's name is Joe. Hey, Joe, meet my my client, Sarah. Sarah and I met at a home yesterday, and Sarah has some questions about the mortgage process and all of her options available, right? And want to make sure that she's comfortable in the price range that she's considering. Okay. Right? Something of that nature. And then you would say, hey, Sarah, this is my lender, Joe, and Joe is, is a very responsive, very educational. He's really excited to work with you and is here to answer any questions that you may have. Guys, please go ahead and get connected. If you need anything from me, let me know. That way, now they have two people trying to get the business. Because if, let's say this person tries to ghost you, you're going to be all over them, and the lender's going to be all over them. So you've doubled the chances of you getting that transaction, right? So make that three-way connection as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't shove the paperwork in their face until you earn the right to, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. All right, great job. Who else has got, so Instagram works, huh? Wow, how about that? All right, tell me some more good news, guys.
I have a question, Bill.
Yes, ma'am.
For a commercial referral, is it still appropriate to ask for a 25% referral fee if it's a big commercial purchase?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
They wouldn't have it without you.
Man, Kathy, you reading off my paper or what?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, look, that's exactly right. This is an opportunity that you know about, that they do not know about. And I don't care if you're going to get $1 million commission check, that you deserve every nickel of
it. And I have another quick question. So I did make a referral for a multi-family property,
okay.
like a multi-unit property, and the person who's interested, or the group that's interested in purchasing the property, the person who communicated with the commercial agent that I referred them to is a little hesitant on signing the exclusive buyer brokerage agreement with the commercial agent.
Okay.
They wanted a non-exclusive for whatever reason. I haven't spoken to my contact yet, but I am going to reach out to my contact.
Your contact meaning the prospect or the agent?
The prospect.
You need to reach out to the agent too.
No, I've spoken with the agent. He's the one that reached out to me to kind of ask me if I could reach out to them to see what I could do to move them along with actually signing the agreement.
Yeah, just go at it with questions, right?
So it's my sister and my brother-in-law. They're up in Rhode Island, and I referred them to Joel in the office. They're
Yeah.
looking for a 100-door apartment
Wow.
complex. And I asked Joel, I said, well, did they seem like they're just not ready to move forward? He said, no, they're ready to go. My brother-in-law is part of an investment group in Fall River, Mass.
So all that means is that when they find something they're curious about, they're going to go through Joel. They're going to
Exactly. Oh, exactly, which is
and they can
what I'm going to
terminate it
say.
at any point.
It's like a loyalty agreement.
Exactly.
Because he's putting in all this work and effort and resources, which is taking away from other business he could be working on. So he just wants to make sure if you find a property on your own or through some other means that you let him know about it so that he can be the agent in that transaction. I mean, is there anything else I need to emphasize?
Rather than saying so he can be the agent in the transaction, you could say so he could protect you, right? Because you don't know squat about 100 unit places. You live, 5,000 miles away.
Right.
Right. So if he can be the agent, that makes it seem like so he can get paid and then I can get paid. It would be better to say something to the effect of so that he can guide you through the process and make sure you're protected at every turn. Right.
Okay.
And just ask questions to say, hey, just out of curiosity, how are things going with Joel? Any reservations? Do you believe he's a good candidate? Has he done good work for you so far? Just don't go at it with your defense. Although your defense is very solid, it sounds like you've practiced that. You're saying all the right things, but just listen first before you give that speech. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and
they may not even understand it. They just maybe need a little bit questions answered.
Well, he's an attorney, so that makes me feel like maybe he's being like hyper critical, or I don't know.
Well, if he's an attorney, he should read the document that says it can be terminated at any time with no penalty.
Yeah, I know. That's what Joel said. The only stipulation is in there.
And were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say also, remind him, it's required by Georgia law for Joel to represent and advise him. And since he really does not know the Atlanta market or anything about how real estate is done in Atlanta, in Georgia, he needs someone to be able to advise him. And that, if he's not going to sign this, all Joel can basically do is open doors and answer questions that are on the MLS sheet.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was something else I thought about. I'm like, well, I was going to tell her if you don't sign the exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, he can't provide all the services that he could if you were a client. At that point, you're just a customer. So
and give you advice. Remember, license law and all probably the transactions that they've done in the past in Rhode Island are different. So how representation works, what involvement does the attorney have? It's all different. So he just needs to allow Joel to teach him how it works. Joel's a really good agent.
Okay, so
and it makes it about the advantage to him as opposed to an advantage, to Joel.
Exactly.
So here's the other little twist. Not only is he an attorney, but they have their own brokerage. My sister's an agent, and in Rhode Island, you can be a broker when you're an attorney. You can just get your brokerage license.
What does
so
that
is
with it?
Like they have their own little realty company.
So what? They're not licensed.
I know. So I'm just asking, is there something else that, with knowing that they have that background, that I should be emphasizing?
He should respect the intelligence and the efforts of a realtor even more.
Yeah, and I just didn't understand what they were,
ask him.
Why they were hesitating.
There's probably some miscommunication. Just ask him.
Yeah, I made the appointment to talk to her tonight. You'd be proud. I asked her, is 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. better for you? I didn't give her any other options.
Don't go more casual because they're your family.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Make sure they know that you're the real deal.
I wanted to make sure I locked in a time, so I did it that way. And she said 7 o'clock's better for me with a little smiley face. So
Good.
I said I just wanted to get feedback on how things went during the Zoom call with Joel on Tuesday.
You're doing the exact right thing. Joel actually just hired another agent, so now he's got double the help. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I brought this up on a meeting. Anyone else want to share anything? Okay, cool. I'm gonna jump right in. So we've got two things going on today. One is a lunch workshop, or I guess not technically a lunch workshop, but a lunchtime workshop from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in this room. And the guest speaker is going to be Cynthia Bourgeois. And she is an ALC member. She has a fantastic story. She's going to talk about home buyer seminars. She's had a significant amount of success with that. And she's also going to be available for some Q&A. So if I would highly recommend that you're in the room for that. And then right afterwards, from 1 to 2, we're going to do a launch mastermind and talk about all the topics that are relevant to you. And I've got some, of course, some topics to kind of guide the talk if we don't have a whole lot of participation. Next, I want to remind you about Bold 100 for next Wednesday. So I'm not positive if this is going to happen, but I think there's going to be a team meeting that day for an hour or so in the middle of the day because spring masterminds are Monday and Tuesday, so we might have to move some things around. If so, that's cool. Just take an hour off and we can work an hour later if necessary. But that's not going to change our plan to hit 100, okay? We can start earlier, work a little later. We can text while we're on the team meeting, not to say be distracted, but we've got a goal, and this is an example of being flexible. Something pops up that's important, we can participate, yet our goal is still the same, okay? So we're gonna use this as an opportunity to create that discipline and not adjust the goal. All right, next is because of spring masterminds next week and because of Bold and because of team meeting being rescheduled as well, I redid the schedule a little bit, and on the recommendation of a couple of people have moved a few of the classes to a little bit later in the day, but the schedule is a little different than it normally is. So I sent that out in the one of the groups yesterday, I believe, or day before yesterday. So please make sure that you put those masterminds on your calendar, okay, and the classes on your calendar. I've also started to get some whispers about beginning to meet in person. So I'm just going to throw a few ideas out there, and I just want to kind of take the pulse of the group on that. Everyone would wear a mask. Everyone would stay social distanced. I know. How about that, Andrew? You ready to take our relationship to the next level? Sit in the same room together?
I'm ready if you are.
All right. So I can see that little smile of yours. So I don't want to put anyone in a situation they're uncomfortable in. This is not any commentary on how dangerous or non-dangerous coronavirus is. I just know that a lot of people are oftentimes have more success when they can be in the same room. So social distance, no joint meals, no touching, all the masks. We'll sit more than 6 feet apart in the big room. Probably limit it to less than 10 people. Let me hear some feedback on that. Is this
for Wednesday?
It could be.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take the pulse of the group. I mean, hopefully we have more than 10 people interested in Bold 100. But at the very least, maybe we do like a class or two in person during the week, or a mastermind or two in person during the week. I'm just trying to take the pulse of the group to see if that's something you guys are open to right now. Give me a little feedback if you would.
I would like
Yes.
that. Yes.
So I have a question too. So if we did it in person, could we also have it like on Zoom as well? That way, if like
Yes.
someone couldn't make it, okay.
Good question. I should have mentioned that. That would be my intention.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally cool with meeting in person. I'm not really worried about the coronavirus, but I understand some people are. So.
Well, the masks aren't always for you, Andrew. They're for everyone else.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll be the lone dissenter.
Okay.
I'm not ready for meeting in areas with, large numbers of people even, I haven't changed what I'm doing, as far as out and about.
There's no There's no judgment on that. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm taking the pulse. If I can just push you one more thing, Pam, just so I understand that, is that is your feeling because it's in an enclosed interior space, or is it because it's at all?
Mostly the enclosed interior space.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't done, I mean, I still have not eaten at a restaurant, even if it's outside. I mean, I'll go pick something up.
Oh, I haven't.
But
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still staying, you know, like I said, I haven't changed what I was doing. I started doing this the end of February, and I haven't changed anything about it.
If we threw a big pizza party because we take a bunch of listings on Bold 100 Day, and we sit out in the park and socialize and celebrate, you gonna come?
It'll depend on how hot it is that day.
Oh man. Okay, fair enough. We'll
I'll
find
be
a cool
there.
day. Okay, so at least we're softening up a little bit, right? Okay,
Yep.
so maybe I'm just gonna throw this day and time out there. What about doing the all group session right after Bold on Thursday? It's scheduled for 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. What about making that at the office? If you plan on coming, let me know. I hate to do like an RSVP, but if there's like 25 people that want to come, we may have to rearrange our plans. So let me know if you're interested in that. And that'll be the first loose invitation. Fair enough?
And what day were you saying that was?
That would be Thursday the 11th. Thursday the 11th. I'm not muting you, Pam, because you said no. I'm just muting you because you're being loud. Okay. No laughing, nothing.
I was, yeah.
Today.
I was being loud.
You were reverberating.
That was because I was just turning off my phone where I was in Zoom to putting it on my computer.
That's okay.
There you go.
I'm just giving you guys a hard time. Okay. I wanted to throw one more thing out there. Heather Mueller. So two things about her actually. Number one is she has a group that is she started a group that's called the WhatsApp One Thing group, which a handful of people I think in this room are a part of. And if you're not and you'd like to be, please just reach out to her. It's basically a WhatsApp group where in the morning you can put in what your one thing is for the day, and people are putting it in, and then at the end of the day or whenever they accomplish their one thing, they are letting the group know. It's just kind of an accountability, kind of create some momentum and some energy around it. No one's going to judge if you want to be a part of it or you don't want to be a part of it. It's just out there for you. She also took a FMLS class on Remind yesterday, and we talked about it afterwards, and she was giving me just an insane amount of cool stuff that you can do with that system, particularly for farming. So I believe she posted a link in one of the groups yesterday. It's a free CE class. I highly recommend that you learn that product. Okay. Is anyone using Remind for any form of lead generation right now?
Yeah, I've used it before.
Tell us what you're up to.
Well, I just like it because the app on the phone, you can just so easily find a house and find out every bit of information about it. And, who bought it, when they bought it, how much they bought it for, it even shows, the interest rates and the schools. It gives so much information so quickly. You can just type in someone's name and it'll pop up everything, like all their houses, their relatives. It's kind of scary. But yeah, I remember taking a class on it like a year ago or so. I don't really remember all the features because it was so much, but it seemed like extremely useful.
Cool. So have you used it for any type of lead generation, to create any clients, to do any farming, or to reach out to people in any way?
Not really. I think I need to take the class again to kind of refresh my memory on it.
Cool. Kathy, talk to us about how you're using it.
So I was looking for I'm talking loud. I was looking for a house for her first time home buyer, and calling people. Like it gives you a range of whether they're low, medium, or high
Yeah.
expectancy to sell the house. And one of these people had built their house 16 years ago and paid like 125 for it. And my guys were looking up to 250. They could not go a penny over 250. Anyway, I got a call. These folks went under contract on another house on Tuesday, and but I got a call on Wednesday from somebody that I had called, and she said, "You made us start thinking about the possibilities. We want you to come take a look at our house." I said, "I am sorry. We went under contract on Tuesday, and they love this house, and I don't think they're gonna let this house go take a look." But she said, "Well, you made us start thinking, and we want you to come take a look." So, just like you said, just having I left a message for them. I sent them a handwritten note. And then she said, "I wonder how much the house next door was sold for." So I actually called that buyer's agent and said, "Can you give me a range?" And she told me the exact number. So I sent it right back to that seller prospective seller, and she was appreciative that I got her that information quickly. So hopefully one day next week I'm going to go take a look at their house. And
beautiful. Just as a sidebar on that, when you have a contract, when you are the listing agent or the buyer's agent, particularly the listing agent, and you have a contract in place on your listing, it is no one's business what the details of that arrangement are.
I know.
I'll give you an example. Let's say the home is on the market listed for $300,000, and for whatever reason, the seller agreed to sell it for $288. And then Kathy Ray calls up and says, "Hey, I'm doing some, I might be listing the home around the corner, or hey, I'm doing some research for comps for a buyer in a different neighborhood. Would you mind sharing me what the stats are on that home? What's the sales price? What's it going to sell for?" You know what I'm going to say?
None of your business. It will close on June the 15th.
Right. You can call me that morning, and I'll answer any question you have.
Yeah, okay. I just said for a range. I expected it to go for more, but it went for less. But she told me the price. I said, I even said, "I don't want the price. I just want a range."
The range is 0 to 300.
She told me.
Right. So I say, "Kathy, you know better than that. You just call me on June the 15th, and I'll tell you anything you want to know." Right. Because let's say, for example, that I told them that it was 288. Then that deal falls apart, which deals fall apart every day, right? And then coincidentally, that buyer comes in, or that buyer's agent brings another buyer. You think they're going to offer me over 288? Of course not, because they know my seller was willing to take 288. Make sense? The details of the transaction, I know sometimes we're, especially on our first couple of deals, we might be really excited. Don't tell anyone anything. It's none of their business. Not even anyone in the office. Okay, they're agents too. Our job is to represent our client. When we're going to bat for the buyer, we don't care about the seller that much. We're trying to protect the buyer. When we're on the seller side, our chief concern is protecting the seller. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then to piggyback on that idea is probably in the next hour, I'm going to upload 3 script packets into the Google Drive. One is the it starts with conversational circle prospecting. This is a packet of scripts, some of which are in the Google Drive now. This is what I've basically done, is gone back through with a fresh eye and taken my favorite circle prospecting scripts and put them in a folder. Same thing with expireds and same thing with FizzBiz. Okay, I'm going to include all 3 in the Google Drive here within the next hour or so. And what I'd like for you to do is, in preparation for next Wednesday, number 1, I want you to think about who you're going to call and make sure you're getting that data. So if you're going to use Vulcan 7, learn the product. If you're going to use Cole, send me the address. Don't send me the address Wednesday morning, please. Okay, send it to me beforehand, and I'll get you that list right away. If you are going to be using any of these 3 prospecting methods, circle prospecting, expireds, or for sale by owners, This gives you the whole weekend plus the first few days of next week to start to practice these scripts and really to start to internalize them. Okay. And then you'll have a kind of a summary packet, if you will, so you don't have to go dig through a 300-page script book to find some expired listing scripts. Does that make sense? Okay. Remember, just another note on scripts. You are going to use scripts no matter what. You're either going to use these or you're going to say whatever happens to come out of your mouth. And when you say whatever happens to come out of your mouth, you're going to say it over and over again. And that's a script. So you may as well engage in the scripts that are written by professionals that are proven, that are rooted in psychology. Okay. Does anyone want to say anything about that?
I agree. Scripts are great.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree too, because I used to sell cars, and I would find myself saying the same thing over and over again. No one taught me them, but I just kind of you figure out, when someone comes in to look for a car, you start asking them the same questions and stuff.
Well, you were winging it.
Yeah, just winging it. But I see what you're saying.
Over and over.
Because what you have written down is made by professionals. It's proven to work. It's based off of psychology.
Right. So like Kathy was saying earlier, she just started she just had a random question that probably was completely unintentional, maybe, that was like inquiring about if they would be moving or if they might sell their property, right? So this says, just out of curiosity, when do you plan on moving? Right? How long have you lived in the neighborhood? Where did you move here from? How did you happen to pick this area? So if you were to make a move, where would you go next? Right? And when would that be? Right? If somebody had asked me that question, if I wasn't a real estate agent and somebody called me a year ago and said, where would you move next? I'd say, hey, my family's getting ready to move from Sandy Springs. And if I didn't hang up on them, but don't let that dissuade you here. My family's going to move from Sandy Springs to over near Emory, right? Oh, do you have an agent? Matter of fact, I don't, right? Or who's your agent? Blah, 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 blah. Maybe I can. Hey, Rachel, can you remember that guy's name that helped us, 6 years ago? Oh, no, I forgot that guy. Okay, right? So now they need a real estate agent. And even if I didn't have an immediate goal to move, now I'm thinking about moving, because especially now, remember, we've been holed up in our houses for the last 4 months, right? Or 3 months. So remember what we said a few weeks ago. One of two things is going to probably happen here. You're either going to realize how much you love your home because it fits your family dynamic perfectly now, right? It's the right amount of space. It's in the right location. It's got the right, community and neighbors and shopping and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Or you're going to look around and be like, gosh, this place is big and it's a pain to clean it and it just doesn't fit our lifestyle anymore. Or you're going to look around and say, this open floor plan that I wanted last year, this ain't working for me anymore. I need a different house, right? Because a lot of us are going to be working from home, right? So open floor plans, they may have some disadvantages now, right? So, or they're going to realize, oh my gosh, this person I got married to, they drive me crazy when I see them every day. I'm done with this thing, right? So good, now you got 3 sales. You're going to sell that house and you're going to help the husband buy something and the wife buy something, right? So remember, people are experiencing a lot. Please don't take that the wrong way. But if you get into conversations with people, you will see how they're changing, right? How their mindset is changing. Either this is a great fit or it's not a great fit. And if it's a great fit, awesome. I'm glad you're happy. I love working with happy people. If you have any questions in the future, I want you to call me. You're not happy? Great. Tell me what would make you happier. If you can wave a magic wand and all of a sudden be in the perfect home and the perfect neighborhood and the perfect city, tell me more about that, right? Oh, you want to move to Charlotte? Awesome. Just to let you know, we have a nationwide relocation network, right? If you ever have a question about a home in Charlotte, please call me. I'll get you the best agent Charlotte has. Fair enough. Completely free, completely obligation free. If you got a question about a home in Metro Atlanta, call me. If you're asking about Snellville, I've never been to Snellville, but I'll get you somebody. Make sense? Okay, any questions? All right, so please don't forget these script packets. I also I'm going to remind you to, many of us are at the stage where we have completed the MREA2 document file with me. Yeah, and we have these daily big rocks. Okay, I need to talk to 11 people. I need to book 3 appointments a month, that kind of stuff. But I haven't seen, Ebony, I know I owe you a response on your thing. I've got it right in front of me right now. We haven't seen 135s or 411s that actually put that into a real business plan. So there's a number of videos about 135s, GPSs, and 411s in the Google Drive. I'm sorry, on the YouTube page. So as we're setting more and more appointments, if any time goes by and we can't get in front of each other, please take a look at some of those videos. And it's very thorough on what the next steps are. Okay. All right, I'll see you in here at 12 o'clock. Please give Cynthia your support. If there is somebody in the group who you have not seen in a while, shoot them a little message and let them know to come today at 12 or come to the launch mastermind at 1. Let them know you're thinking about them, okay? Oh,
Okay.
wait, here's some, can I join after the vote? The bold, let me make sure, let me be clear about something. Participation in the bold 100 has nothing to do with whether you're in bold pivot or not. This is just it's just a concept that came from bold. We are committed to making 100 contacts today. We will use bold scripts. We will use bold affirmations, right? But whether you've taken bold or not, you're more than still invited. Everyone understand that?
Yes.
Okay, did I miss any other questions?
No.
All right, Shauna, life worth living.
Yep,
Life worth living.
exactly.
Beautiful. Y'all have a great morning.
Thanks.
She'll be back,
Yeah.
Shauna.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.